This video will show you how to set up Reason and your code keyboard so the channels and zone buttons on the code change the active instrument in Reason, but the method should work with other MIDI keyboards. In the simplest setup, the channel buttons on the code change instruments in Reason. Zones allow you to divide the keyboard by instrument, octave, or transposed notes. Make sure you have the latest code firmware and the preset editor if you want zones. You'll also need Kosztukai's generic MIDI controller. An internet search should bring it up at the top of the list. Make sure you're holding the Shift button down when you're making these changes. Otherwise, you're in a completely different setup option. The Mackie control enables the faders and knobs to be mapped in Reason. The transport buttons, play and record, should just work after these changes. Adding channels is repetitive, but can be done quickly once you get the hang of it. I use 7 channels now and everything seems to work just fine. I wouldn't add more than needed. I got a lot of Reason lockup when I was first playing around with this, but now that I have a stable configuration, crashes have been rare. If you change an instrument's channel control, best to save Reason, close, and reopen, or you'll get crashes. Big thank you to Kosztukai for creating these controllers and making them available. I've used this enough that I've exercised his donation button. Defining a master keyboard is a good idea. It allows you to change the active instrument from within Reason, but it complicates usage. Best to start off with it off and add it later. My advice is to design your setup before you start locking channels to instruments. I'd suggest adding the channel name to each of your instrument tracks. Once you've locked all your channels, save the Reason file. Changing channel lock is a good way to get Reason to freeze up. So if you do change them, save, close the file, and restart. That's all you need to use the channel buttons, and they should work on any preset on the code. Zones are just another way of accessing the channels you made, but they add a lot of flexibility. You can use the keyboard to make presets, but it's a lot easier to use the preset editor. And that's all we're going to do on this. I think it's easiest to start with an existing preset and modify it. I used the LM-ABL preset. Others should work, although the LHAB preset pads respond differently than the other presets. You can also change the octave and transpose values to anything you'd like. And the keys can be any range you want, depending on how you want to divide up your keyboard. The presets you upload will disappear when you turn off the code unless you save them on the code itself. Saving to disk lets you build multiple presets starting from your own customized configuration. Pressing both pad octave buttons when you turn on the code will wipe out your custom presets. So you have the flexibility to play around with different presets, but always get back to the factory defaults. I'd advise keeping the master keyboard off until you're familiar with your setup. It really complicates usage. One advantage of having the master keyboard is that you can control which instrument is playing from within reason. The best way to get used to it is to set the active channel on the code to a value which is not mapped. For example, I don't use channel 16. I don't have a controller in Reason set to 16. So with the code on channel 16 and zones off, the full keyboard plays the instrument I activate in Reason. With zones on, it is a nice way to quickly test out different instrument mixes. The pads always send channel 10, which will combine with a master input to create 2 sounds per strike. Well, thanks for watching. I hope the video helps you make great music with your MIDI keyboard.